My security blanket is back. Anyways, and thank you, Dwayne and Beth, for always taking care of the details of sound and everything else. I truly appreciate it. Announcements. What do we got? So the Super Show, the Motorcycle Super Show and Swap Meet, March 26th and 27th. Come out to that event. We are going to have a booth there all weekend. Saturday we are there from 9 to 6. Sunday we are there from 10 to 5. If you are interested in helping set up on Friday, late afternoon, evening, John and I will head over there to take everything. We're going to have to take whatever we need out of the classroom upstairs and get it over there and get it set up. And Dwayne, were you going to ask me a question about that?
Yeah, I was going to ask if there's going to be like a sign-in sheet or sign-up sheet.
No, you know, what's really cool about Bikers Church is we did that one time.
Didn't work.
And then we realized that we didn't need it. Everybody was just there and we just kind of take care of it. So it seems like there is always at least 5 or 6 people in that booth. And then we can come and go and come and go. So if you want to go wander around and talk to people, then come back, hang out for a little while, and then go. So the only thing that I need, and usually somebody steps up pretty quick, is we need somebody that's willing to stay Saturday until 6, because church is at 6:30. Worship team and other people leave. We usually leave by 4:30 to get here and set up for church. In the past, I've had volunteers easily found to stay and manage that until 6 o'clock. So we haven't done sign-up sheets in the past, I don't think, based on all of you lovely people that I know. I assume that all of you same lovely people plus the newer lovely people in this church will just be there. But yeah, if you're interested in helping me and John set up on Friday afternoon, talk to me after service or sometime in the next week or two, and we'll get that taken care of. Beth, you have a question about that too?
No,
No? Just waiting?
I'll be there to help.
Oh, hi!
Hi.
Oh, hi Facebook Live, and hi YouTube, by the way. So that weekend, we will have, the main thing we do at the Biker Church booth, right, is fellowship.
Yeah.
We just fellowship with people. We meet people, we network with people. Every year, we meet people at the swap meet that wander their way into Biker Church and become part of our family. So we really spend the weekend hanging out. We will pray with people, talk with people. We hand out flyers for our Blessing of the Bikes. We talk to people about what the Blessing of the Bikes is and what we do there. We have Bibles that we give away, and yeah, we just have a lot of fun. We just have a lot of fun. So, yeah, John.
Did we get Bibles? Did we get some for this year?
We have some Bibles upstairs that we will take, and we've got some smaller ones that we'll take with us.
Okay.
But we are still working on getting an order of a large order of Bibles. So, yeah. So the Baca, this is April 16th. Is that a month from now? Almost.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget to wear green on Thursday or you'll get pinched.
Okay. Looking forward to
Just
that.
saying. St. Patrick's Day is this Thursday, by the way. So that April 16th is the Pikes Peak Baca event, and that is at Murray Street Darts. What do we got next, Mary? Oh, we're having a yard sale, a rummage sale. You know, it's been a long time since I've heard those words. The church rummage sale.
Yeah.
You guys, if you were churched when you were young, you remember that, right? The church rummage sale. So anyway, we're having a yard sale here at the church on Friday, April 22nd and Saturday, April 23rd. So that's the weekend after Easter. Yes, we realize that sometimes it rains and snows in Colorado in April. We have a indoor space that we can use if that happens. So, so we will be having that. If you have clothing or shoes or stuff that you want to get rid of, we are collecting stuff in the classroom upstairs, in a classroom upstairs, I should say. if you have larger items, like exercise equipment that you don't use, I mean to exercise with, you know, the kind that you hang your laundry on, those items. If you have furniture, if you have larger stuff, please don't bring that to the church before the week of the rummage sale. So, if you're on Facebook Live or YouTube or here in church, and you have larger items that you want to be a part of the rummage sale, and you can't get them here, we're gonna need kind of a heads up to work on that. So, but we'll try to work on getting that stuff here the week of. So, all of the money raised from that is gonna help us make the Circle Drive side of the church prettier. So we're gonna xeriscape out there. Potentially put some rocks in or some bark in and maybe some flowers. And so all of the money from that rummage sale goes for that. Car and bike show. I can honestly tell you, I don't know a whole lot about this, but it's April 23rd. So if you get tired of being at the rummage sale, you can go check out that. And that's over at Murray Street Darts.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay. International Female Ride Day, May 7th. Don't know a lot about that either. I should. I'm a woman. Vets for Vets Spring Party. That we will go to after church on May 7th, which leads me to the meat raffle tickets. If you're unfamiliar with that, the Vets for Vets Spring Party always has meat raffle tickets for sale up to the day of the event. Tickets are $10 each. The first prize is a chest freezer full of 130 pounds of meat. That's a lot of meat. So, $10, I have tickets. You can buy tickets from me. All the money raised from that event and from that raffle goes to help take homeless vets off the street. And the Homeless Initiative project is slated to happen this year. So, keep that in mind as you support that event and support that raffle. Blessing of the Bikes. That is coming up fast, and boy will that come up fast. So, that's June 4th. There are flyers for that event. If you have a place, a community board, a window that you need to put one of these in, please take one or two and post them around town and encourage people to come and support the Blessing of the Bikes. There are paper registration forms if you do not like electronics, and then there are electronic registration forms pinned to our website and from the Blessing of the Bikes QR code. You can scan that little bad boy, it'll take you to the online registration form. Then you can submit that. You can click on the link to make a donation, and we can get you all signed up for the Blessing of the Bikes electronically this year, thanks to Mama Beth and our amazing web servant James, who does exist even if you haven't met him.
Okay.
Or ever saw him, ever.
We love James.
Yes.
He's amazing, and he takes really good care of our website. Oh, the Buffa ride, so the Buffa ride, by the way, the spring ride is the day after the Blessing of the Bikes. So Blessing of the Bikes Saturday, the spring ride for Buffa is on Sunday. And Jim Ware has donated the Eagle. This thing stands about this tall. And it is a piece of biker history in Colorado Springs. That thing has been in a couple different bike shops over probably the last 40 years. So chance drawing tickets on that are $10 each, and I have those as well.
Or 7
Or 7 for 50. Yeah, $10 each or 7 for 50. And all of the money raised from that goes to help a biker in need. So there will be a biker that is the recipient of money from the Buffa ride in the spring. And then that run is split half and half. Half to a biker in need and half to the motorcycle museum, which is down by Cowboys. Has everybody been there?
Yes.
If you haven't been there, you really need to get down there. But that is a nonprofit situation down there, so Buffa has always contributed to that. So all that money goes to that. We're not setting the clocks back? Craig said we were setting the clocks back.
I
We're not
thought
setting the clocks
you
back?
get an extra hour of sleep.
I know,
after,
right?
back.
Anyway, spring your clocks forward.
Okay.
Spring your clocks forward tonight,
Right.
or you are going to be off all day tomorrow and probably Monday. William?
Sorry, are we still going to the spring fling after church?
So we can talk about that after church.
Well, the reason is,
Yeah.
the reason is because I've invited people for dinner. I didn't know.
Okay, so we can talk about that for sure after church. That'd be awesome. Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure after church. Different ways to give. ppbikerschurch@outlook.com is our PayPal address. You can always give by Square if you're here. There is a donate button on the website now that you can donate also. And then swag. Yay, swag. Out at the table there are hoodies and long sleeve shirts and neck gaiters and patches and all kinds of good stuff out there. And there is a donation list. If you have any questions about that, you can see Nicole, me, Carol, handful of people, I'm sure. Santa Fred is not here to autograph your copy of the Motorcyclist magazine, but the Motorcyclist magazine is out on the table. This has the calendar of events for everything that you want to know about for the riding season. And in the back is an entire page devoted to Bikers Church, what we do, who we are, and our events. So that's pretty cool. Help yourself to one of those, 2 of those, 3 of those, give them to your friends. Some of our friends don't, go all over the place and find stuff like that. So if you need to take 2 or 3 of those magazines and hand them out to your biker friends that, might need one, we got a bunch. Amen? Did I do it all without any help? Super proud of myself. All right. Those of you that know where you're going to be next Saturday morning at 8:30 know where you're going to be next Saturday morning at 8:30, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right. So tonight, it's so funny because Beth and I always do this thing where I give her the scriptures so she can prepare slides, and then she's like, so what version are we in? And so I texted her and I said, King James, and she said, you know that little emoji with the big eyes? That's what she said. Rarely do I land in the old King James version of the Bible, but this called for that. So, I am in Psalms chapter 136, and I am in the King James version, so yours might be different. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Oh, give thanks unto the God of gods, for his mercy endureth forever. Oh, give thanks to the Lord of lords, for his mercy endureth forever. To him who alone doeth great wonders, for his mercy endureth forever. To him by wisdom made the heavens, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that stretched out the earth above the waters, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that made great lights, for his mercy endureth forever. The sun to rule by day, for his mercy endureth forever. The moon and stars to rule by night, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that smote Egypt in their firstborn, for his mercy endureth forever. And brought out Israel from among them, for his mercy endureth forever. With a strong hand and with a stretched out arm, for his mercy endureth forever. To him which divided the Red Sea into parts, for his mercy endureth forever. And made Israel to pass through the midst of it, for his mercy endureth forever. But overthrew Pharaoh and his host in the Red Sea, for his mercy endureth forever. To him who led his people through the wilderness, for his mercy endureth forever. To him which smote great kings, for his mercy endureth forever. And slew famous kings, for his mercy endureth forever. Sihon, king of Amorites, for his mercy endureth forever. And Og, the king of Bashan, for his mercy endureth forever. And gave their land for an heritage, for his mercy endureth forever. Even a heritage unto Israel his servant, for his mercy endureth forever. Who remembered us in our low estate, for his mercy endureth forever. And hath redeemed us from our enemies, for his mercy endureth forever. Who giveth food to all flesh, for his mercy endureth forever. O give thanks unto the God of heaven, for his mercy endureth forever. This is God's word.
Amen.
Father God, I thank you that indeed your mercy endureth forever. Father, thank you now for the opportunity to lean into your mercy, to consider your mercy, to consider the depth of your mercy and the breadth of your mercy. Father, I thank you for this church. I thank you for minds that are open and spirits that are willing to hear from you now. Father, would you increase as I decrease before you? In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
What is mercy? The definition of mercy is compassion or forgiveness shown towards someone who it is within one's power to punish. A boss, an authority, a friend. An event to be grateful for, especially because its occurrence prevents something unpleasant or provides relief from suffering. Performed out of a desire to relieve suffering motivated by compassion. This is our God. This is our God. Our God has that mercy that is unending, and it endureth forever. It has no end. It goes on and on and on. But I want tonight, I chose the King James Version tonight because in chapter 136, his mercy endureth forever. And you may have a different version of the Bible in your hand or in your palm. And so tonight I want to take a look at the words used in other translations of this scripture to be sure that we truly understand the reach of mercy's definition. Because I found that very interesting. When I started putting this together, I was like, well, I'm using King James because his mercy endureth forever in King James. In the New King James, it's mercy. In the Christian Standard Bible, his faithful love endureth forever. In the Jewish Bible, his grace endureth forever. In the English Standard Version Bible, his steadfast love endureth forever. In the Amplified Bible, his loving kindness endureth forever. In the New English Translation, his loyal love endureth forever. And in the not interesting version, according to David Joseph, in the NIV, his love endureth forever. So tonight, I wrote a definition for what is mercy. It is God's unending, faithful, steadfast, loyal, loving, kind grace for us that is never ending and endureth forever.
Amen.
That is a big definition of mercy, but that is the definition of mercy. Compassionate love that extends when it is completely undeserved. That is our God. That is our Jesus. That is the Holy Spirit. And that is mercy. Forgiveness which is granted when there is absolutely zero reason to grant forgiveness. That is our God. That is our Jesus. That is mercy. Faithfulness to someone that is completely unfaithful to you. That is our God. That is our Jesus. That is mercy. Steadfast loyalty when there was no loyalty from the other. That is our God. That is Jesus, and that is mercy. Kindness offered to someone when hatred or anger was offered to you. That is our God. That is our Jesus, and that is mercy. The desire to offer comfort in suffering when someone is lashing out in anger and frustration. That is our God. That is our Jesus, and that is mercy. Extending compassion to someone who is pushing you away. That is our God. That is our Jesus, and that is mercy. Understanding and empathy given to someone who doesn't think anyone cares. That is our God. That is our Jesus, and that is mercy. Our God, our Jesus, is full of mercy. But do we accept that mercy? Are we the one that is not loyal? Are we the one that is angry? Are we the one that is lashing out in our anger? Are we the one that is pushing God away? Are we the one that thinks that He doesn't care? Because even when we are all of those things, He is extending compassion. He is extending understanding. He is extending loyalty and kindness. That is who our God is. When humans are wounded and hurting, we have a tendency to behave like injured animals.
Amen.
We have a tendency when we get wounded and hurting to run and hide somewhere under a bush or fight back. Come out swinging. Lay down and whimper. We isolate. We disregard efforts to help us. Have you ever tried to help a wounded animal? And that wounded animal is just like biting at you and clawing at you and like, get away from me and leave me alone. And that's us, you guys, with God. Sometimes. And yet, what He does is He reaches back over and over again. And He comes in even when you're fighting. His love reaches into you even when you are flailing and pushing and isolating and hiding. His steadfast love, His mercy, endureth forever. But if we stay in these places that we get for long enough, we develop something called wound identity. And this is something that I've been spending a little bit of time with lately, and it's interesting to me, and the definition, I don't know if you've ever heard it before, but when somebody develops wound identity, they use victimhood as their identity. And that's a word that a lot of people don't like. Being a victim, there's true victim status. I mean, there are times in our lives where we are victimized. But the world is full of people who have developed this wound identity, and they see every threat against them as making them a victim. They see everything that has happened in their lives directed at them, making them a victim. And they get caught in this place where they have this wound identity and they refuse God's mercy. They refuse his outstretched hand. They refuse his loving kindness. They refuse to let him in. Part of that, you guys, is that they are using that wound identity as a ticket to sympathy. Because this world we live in is full of people that want sympathy. They want people to feel sorry for them. Or they might even use this wound identity, as their excuse for not serving. They might use it as their excuse for not changing. They might use it for their excuse for not growing. They literally have a tendency to become their injury, whether that's emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual. People that have developed wound identity have a tendency to whine about everything from authority over them to too much personal freedom. And everything in the middle. They just take everything as a personal attack. Or they take everything as personal neglect. Sometimes they end up narcissistic, and they believe that the world owes them something. And I'm quite sure that some of Israel had that going on. Right? But when we look to the scripture, we see that God doesn't like wound identity. God doesn't like victimhood. God is full of mercy and loving kindness and forgiveness. And he wants us to receive those things and move away from wound identity. Because we need to be redeemed. And people that are redeemed are powerful. People that are redeemed and understand that. People that are forgiven and understand that. People that have received mercy and understand that. People that have received grace and understand that are powerful witnesses to God's gracious mercy. When we understand his mercy, we overcome our woundedness. Because with mercy, our wounds, when we understand mercy, when we receive mercy, when we internalize God's mercy, our wounds can begin to redeem the world. What I mean is that Jesus' wounds on that cross brought us forgiveness, brought us grace and mercy and loving kindness. Amen? Amen. Our wounds, when we receive his forgiveness and his mercy and his grace and his kindness, our wounds become testimonies to the rest of the world to redeem them. Are you guys following me? I see some blank stares across the sanctuary. With mercy internalized, you guys, we can turn our wounds into gifts instead of wound identity. With mercy, we can be liberated from our woundedness. We can walk away from that victim mentality. And we walk boldly into testimony and testifying to other people about God's goodness. Jesus' wounds absolutely redeemed the entire world, right? His wounds absolutely are gifts to all of humanity, and his wounds absolutely liberate us from wounds that the enemy wants to work against us. But here's the trick, and it's not a trick, but here's the trick. We have to accept his mercy.
Amen.
We have to accept it. We have to let it flood over us. We need to look at our life and say that, I have food on my table. His mercy endureth forever.
Amen.
I have a job to go to today. His mercy endureth forever. I am healed from my hip surgeries. His mercy endureth forever. What can you say about your life and then follow it with, his mercy endureth forever? As a body of believers, we have to accept God's grace. As a body of believers, we have to accept that loving kindness from him. And I'm not talking about lip service. Lip service drives me crazy. That is the problem with so many Christians. And that is, you guys, how we get called hypocrites. Because we're all talking about this and talking about that and talking about the other thing and then running around the world being pity-party messes. His mercy endureth forever. And we have to stand upright and claim that. We have to accept that the Trinity is loyal, steadfast, and full of love all the time. And in order for us to truly accept mercy, we have to decide that we are going to let go of wound identity and victim mentality. We have to decide that we're going to let go of it. So my challenge to you today is to allow mercy to create in you a new thing. Allow God's mercy to create in you a new thing. Allow Jesus Christ's mercy to create in you a new thing. Allow the Holy Spirit's mercy to create in you a new thing. A new thing called sacred wounds. Sacred wounds. Everything that has ever happened to you in your life that you feel wounded from, allow that to become sacred ground. Ground that God can work with. Ground that Jesus Christ can plow. Ground that the Holy Spirit will use to cause new growth. Be blood-bought. Be blood-washed. Be a child of the Most High King and claim sacred wounds, because his mercy endureth forever. Father God, I thank you for my wounds. And sometimes, Lord, I hear songs that sing about that and people that talk about that, and sometimes my wounds still hurt. But I know that they are sacred wounds. And Father, I go back over and over again to that 8:28 moment, that you will use all things that have happened to us for your glory, for those that are called according to your purpose. All things. Every single thing in our lives that has ever wounded us. All of those things your mercy extends to. All of those things you can liberate us from. All of those things can become sacred, used for your purpose, to minister to witness to redeem the world to Jesus. Father, the world needs to know that wounds are not victim status. The world needs to know that you extend into those dark places to heal, to restore, and to redeem. So, Father, I pray over everyone that is within reach of this message, I pray that each one of us will reach out to you. If there is something left undone, if there is something left unhealed, if there is something left undealt with, that we will reach out to you and that we will claim your mercy, your steadfast love, your grace, your loving kindness, your mercy that endureth forever. Let us claim that. Let us claim that ground and walk boldly in it. In Jesus' name, amen.